Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio. Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 204, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan. I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy?
Hey, I don't know. I don't know how it's going.
I know. I haven't looked out my window yet today.
I'm hitting the wall with life, Brian.
Yeah?
It's kind of, I had this realization this morning where I woke up and it was just like, I mean, obviously you're grateful every morning that you wake up, but you're like, all right, another day of like just being in the house and being stressed every time, you get a news update,
Yeah, it's so funny. It hadn't occurred to me till right now, but we're a relatively upbeat, optimistic show. But yeah, no, I'm there with you. I'm kind of in one of the valleys at the moment, but we soldier on, and this is definitely reason for me to get excited about this day, though.
Well, I appreciate that. I had this sort of, this kind of just that thought. Like I'm sitting in bed, I kind of roll out of bed, and everyone else is asleep, and I'm kind of, my shoulders slump, and I think human nature is such that you tend to be optimistic, and you're like, all right, well, we're in kind of this low patch right now, but on the other side, we'll do blah blah blah, right? And we've been in this weird interregnum since, April, right? Or March or
really, yeah.
Whatever it was, right? And I had this thought. I'm like, what if there is no other side? Like, what if this is it?
Without realizing it, I had that very same thought yesterday because I was trying to figure out getting food, and I was like, okay, so the mask, the thing, like, is this place going to have patio seating? Da 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 da. And so I'm just used to that in this moment. Yeah. But it occurred to me, is this going to be the way that I try to sit at a restaurant for the next, 5 years? Yeah. Like, is this going to be 5 months? Is this going to be 5 years? Like, is this the new... To some degree, I imagine things will level out, whatever that looks like. But, I mean, is this the new normal? Like, is this the base of the new normal? I don't know.
It's a weird situation because, we either last time or the time before, we were talking about how masks have become a political thing. And that's just one of these weird head-scratching moments where you're like, well, how is this a point of conflict, right? Mm-hmm. And now, and this might not be something that's in your direct frame of concern, but like schools. Yeah,
I am certainly sympathetic. I've been hearing a lot of this conversation from my friends with kids. Yeah, I absolutely am so sorry that you have to think about all these things. It just sounds like a mess.
It's a weird situation because I was talking with my wife about this a couple of days ago. I'm like, look, I am entirely fed up with these children. I've decided I don't like them anymore. That's kind of where I'm at right now. However, I'm also like, look, unless it's safe, I'm not sending them back to school. Full stop, end of conversation, right? Yeah. And yet, the conversation online and certainly even from like talking heads is like, well, there's an acceptable amount of risk. It's like the risk is this much, and that many kids might get infected. I'm like, that's easy to say when it's not your kid.
I know, and I saw another article also, and I hesitate to quote it because I haven't read the whole thing, so I don't want to be spreading misinformation. But I saw something where they were saying that a group of teachers had been informed about the cheapest way to create wills.
Wow,
I was like, I mean. That headline should be like comment enough,
It's crazy because I've been gradually venturing outdoors and doing the whole wearing masks and whatever. And I went with my kids to the post office the other day, and to their credit, I mean the post office, they're doing a good job. They've got shields, everyone's wearing masks, everyone's maintaining distance, doing what they need to. But I'm there with my 6-year-old, and he cannot stop touching everything.
Yes.
And that's a thing that he probably did before.
Yes.
But I'm acute. Like every time he touches a counter, it's like a pin is being jabbed into my back.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, just put your hands in your goddamn pockets, you know?
Yeah.
And and so now I'm imagining these kids maintaining distance, keeping their masks on for 8 hours at a time. Are you nuts?
I know.
Right? So I don't know. Now that being said, I have my again, my 6-year-old. He was in kindergarten this past year, so this is like the crucial, socializing period of your life. So I'm watching him slowly become an idiot. And so this is also my concern, because I'm like, well, being at home and looking at people on a Zoom screen is not doing him any favors either.
Yeah. No, I know. And I also have a huge amount of sympathy for just the single parents or the working parents, right? Yeah. And I've also been reading about people who are saying, this is really affecting their ability to work. And some companies are more sympathetic than others, and that's entirely unfair. And I mean, there's just no good answer to any of this. And I don't mean to get political, and I promise I'll step lightly. But it occurs to me, this is a thought that I have, is fundamentally, societally, structurally, we have a misguided view of what school is for, right? Because I think teachers do it for passion. They love doing it, right? But I think in terms of the people who are making the decisions, school is not about the children. It's about a place to dump the children so that the parents can be out working and keeping, our sort of the machinery going. Mm-hmm. And so when you have people like, well, the school's got to open, it's not about the kids. Mm-hmm. It's about getting the adults back in the workforce. Right. I can absolutely see that.
Right. And that's a problem. And I can say this with a certain amount of like, well, I'm at home, I'm teaching, I'm still doing my thing, right? So
right.
There is an amount of privilege that I'm embodying even saying this, but I mean, I'm looking at the situation with the kids, and I'm like, it's not as simple as open everything back up, because you're just going to make things worse. And it's not good what's happening right now as far as them being out of school, but I think we'd rather have them not learning but still being alive.
Yeah.
I know.
I
don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, it's so, like you say, I mean, I'm not having to think about that with kids, and I also am coming from a place of privilege where I'm able to work from home. So I read all these things and I try to take in everyone's perspectives, and all I can be is just sort of sympathetic and supportive, just because I can't even imagine these decisions that people are having to make right now.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. Anyway, movie film 204.
204. Can you imagine if we could go back in time, episode 1, and listen to 204 and be like, what? Wait, what?
Right. So we're in week 5 of the plague.
I know.
That's going to be the funny thing, right? Assuming there is an end point to all this, there's going to be this weird 6-month dip, Hopefully,
I think about that all the time. We're in the middle of it, so we can't know. But what is this going to be like in the history books? Is this a chapter? Is this a paragraph? Is this,
It's true.
Yeah.
It's scary. But hey, we turn to movies to give us a certain amount of comfort.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So I'm assuming you've been dipping into old favorites and new offerings.
Yeah, well, to pique the interest again of episode 1, Brian, I've been locked up in quarantine in my house and watching movies over the internet because I can't be around other people. And in that instance this week, I rewatched Clueless.
Nice.
Yeah, I watched that as the Netflix Party, I think it's called Netflix Party app on Google Chrome, which is just so fantastic, by the way, because my friend group, we'd been getting together every Sunday, typically to watch an AFI Top 100 film. But then, you run out of those, what's available on Netflix. But this app is great because you get to, stream this movie, and it's playing it at the same time for everyone. And you have this window on the side where everyone can chat with one another. And, I'll admit sometimes it's, 5 on Sunday and I'm not particularly ready to sit down and do the movie. And like, okay, let's do this. And every time it ends, I truly feel like I've been with my friends and am sad to say goodbye.
Aw.
So it's a really great app.
And by the
highly
way,
recommend it.
Brian, Hulu has launched something similar to that now.
Oh, have they really?
Yeah, they have their own.
I mean, it's why not? It's
Right.
absolutely, it's great. I definitely recommend it. But anyway, so Clueless, yes, and also, I mean, what a fun. Movie.
How did you decide on Clueless?
That is a very good question. I can't. Oh, okay. So like I said, we were doing the top 100 AFI, but then some movies we had either seen them already or we just weren't interested. I always bring up Yankee Doodle Dandy, which we did watch, by the way. But then we moved over to another top 100 list that was compiled from filmmakers. And
It's like
what
top
they thought were
100
the
Paul
top 100
Rudd movies.
Yes, yeah. No, it was like the top 100 most essential movies they thought. So there's movies like Airplane.
Which same thing. Paul Rudd movies, most essential.
Yes.
It's that Venn diagram is just a circle.
Absolutely. I mean, you still get your Citizen Kanes and your Apocalypse Now, and then you also get Airplane and you get Clueless.
Nice.
And I gotta say, I've always liked Clueless, even when it came out, but it's definitely a movie I think I appreciate more and more, even as I get older. Just what a really singular vision it is and how successful it is. And it really holds up. I mean, what I read some article about it recently. It must be celebrating an anniversary or something. And they were saying like Back to the Future 2, how it just goes all in on the future to some crazy degree that it can't age because it's just nuts.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what this movie does for the 90s. Like it is very 90s, but it goes extra hard. So it kind of locks itself into just being its own thing, which really helps it to still be, you don't laugh at sort of the lack of technology or whatnot. But as fun as it is, and I think most people know it's a modern retelling of the story of Emma by Jane Austen. And I think it's just such a weird, loosey-goosey movie, but it really does successfully connect all these sort of vignettes of what the character's trying to accomplish with her projects with these different people. And I think the thing I've appreciated most, especially this last time, was the lead character, Cher. She is a really, really great character. She could have totally been this caricature of this sort of silly, vapid rich kid. But Alicia Silverstone deserves all the credit in the world for making this character actually feel like a person, and she's charming and she's like lovable and she actually has layers, and then she actually goes through a really enjoyable arc. So when it was over, I've always liked the movie, like I said, but when it was over, I was like, man, that's a really good movie. I think it's worth noting what an accomplishment it is for how unique it is and how successful that character comes across. So if it's been a while or if you haven't seen it, I totally recommend checking out Clueless.
What strikes me is that Amy Heckerling has not really, done anything at the same level of notoriety since then. Mm-hmm. Which
is weird.
Right.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's... I would hate that it's just Hollywood being stupid.
I mean, you'd think between Fast Times, Look Who's Talking, and Clueless, she could dine out on that forever.
Yeah, I mean, just the ones those are 3 solid commercial hits.
Right.
So, Exhibit A. But also, I mean, I haven't seen Look Who's Talking forever, but at least Fast Times and Clueless are essential movies of each decade.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
It's weird because I'm looking at her filmography, and basically after Clueless, it's almost all television. Gossip Girl, one episode of The Office, And I mean that's strange to me because I mean she's certainly, at least she was a marquee name. But I don't know. Well, I'm on her Wikipedia page, and check this out. Actor and comedian Chris Kattan claimed in his 2019 memoir, Baby Don't Hurt Me, Stories and Scars from SNL, that he was pressured by Lorne Michaels to have sex with Heckerling so she would direct the 1998 film A Night at the Roxbury, although she ultimately only produced rather than directed it.
Ugh.
So there's that. Heckerling's daughter Molly disputes his claims, saying that although Heckerling and Kattan had an affair, it was when the film was already shooting. So that's a thing. I don't know that has any bearing on anything, but that's just a weird thing that I found on her Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Well, and let me be clear about my My is referring to just like how gross I don't like being reminded that this industry can be.
Yeah, right. It's
yeah.
I'm glad you clarified. You didn't need to clarify it for me, but yeah.
Yeah.
For the record, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Clueless. All right. And by the way, we talk about how young some of these actors were, and how you realize in hindsight that they're like about your age. You know how old Paul Rudd was in Clueless? 73.
Yeah. No, he does look young in it, but he hasn't aged much.
Yes. Clean living. Everybody everybody points to Clueless. They're like, that's the moment I saw him. I was like, I knew that guy was going to be a star. And I'm like, yeah, sure. When I knew he was going to be, when I saw him in the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo commercial.
Right.
I was like, that guy, he's going to be a Marvel superhero one day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get his character when I was a teenager. Now I understand that he's sort of the moody college kid. It's much funnier when you're older.
Yes.
Yeah, like growing his goatee and reading Nietzsche and whatever. Speaking, by the way, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I signed up for Audible months ago, which I was great because I needed this book. I needed to download it fast into my brain, and it was a perfect way to do it because you can speed it up a little bit. And I have not canceled, and every month it's like, hey, you got another credit from Audible, and I go, oh crap.
Yeah.
I just keep accruing, I'm keep paying for this service that I'm not using. So I finally downloaded another book that I had just read that people had been enjoying called Console Wars. I say it's because you mentioned Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
have you read it?
I a long time ago.
Man, I'm really, really enjoying it. It's basically about the rise of Nintendo and then the emergence of Sega and their battle in the 90s. And I'm at the point now where PlayStation is becoming a thing. And it's just really fascinating because everything they're talking about. I really love reading stories about smart people in business and marketing because I don't have that cunning or savvy.
Right.
But I admire it. And these huge swings that these guys take. And you know that these are just bold moves that at the time must have been really daunting and, could have cost them their jobs. But we already know that those swings led to success. And it's you admire these people and it's fascinating to hear the choices that they made. But it's also cool because this is a history that I remember. I remember when these consoles came out, and I remember seeing the Super Nintendo and Mario looked three-dimensional for the first time, and I was playing it at a mall, but then hearing the story about how they were going to, that was so intentional that they would lure me into this portion of the mall where I'd play the game. I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Brian, if you liked Slugfest, another book that you might enjoy listening to, which is something similar but something different, it's called Slugfest.
Wait, oh yeah, I think you meant, you said Console Wars. So, like Console Wars, you would recommend Slugfest.
Yes, and this is the battle between Marvel and DC. Ooh,
okay.
So over the course of 50 years, and it goes back and forth, kind of just like Console Wars, where it's Sega and Nintendo.
I would really be interested in that.
I have the audio book of that from Audible. I'm the same as you, where I signed up for the free trial and then I just forgot about it, and I'm just accruing these credits. Mm-hmm. Like I'm like the opposite of Burgess Meredith in that Twilight Zone episode, where it's like more books. I'm like, no more, please. That's me,
I know. Yeah.
But if you like Console Wars, this is again, it's different, but it's similar, in that same vein. Feels like something you might enjoy.
Great. Yeah. Well, maybe after this one.
Yeah.
And then also, it's in terms of audio visual, I went on Disney Plus and watched Hamilton.
So this is the biography of George Hamilton.
That's right. And we learn how he got as tan as he did. And yeah, I mean, what else can be said about this? I mean, this was probably the musical of this century, at least so far, but it will certainly, I imagine, be the Cats of the 21st century.
Right.
No. But no, I mean, this thing was obviously a juggernaut and frankly a masterpiece. It's one of those things where I knew I was never going to get to see the play in New York. I mean, tickets were astronomical, but it was this huge event. And so for the first time, I don't think I've ever done this, I downloaded the soundtrack, which is essentially the entirety of the musical. And I listened to it on a flight when I was visiting my parents. And when it was over, I was like, whoa, yeah, they're absolutely right. That's amazing. And then, you're sort of like, oh, yeah, yeah. And then everyone keeps touting it. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, it was really good. But was it as good as I remember? And then at one point I came across this bootleg. So I was like, well, I'm never going to get to spend $5,000 to go watch this. So I watched this bootleg. And I was like, well, it'll be as good as I remember. I don't know. And even watching this camcorder version of it, I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's even better than I remember. And so then time goes on and you're like, oh, yeah, no, this thing gets kind of hyped and they spend a lot of money on Disney Plus. I know I'll enjoy it, but whatever. Then I watched it on Disney Plus and no, this thing's a masterpiece. It's that good. And I highly recommend it for people to check it out. It's even if you're not into musicals. I mean, the music is just incredible. And I mean, the lyrics and the storytelling and the acting. I think what's really cool about this is they recorded this, I think, over 2 live performances. So it is almost like a concert film, and there's an audience reacting to what's going on stage, but they also spent a couple extra days shooting close-ups on stage. So,
interesting.
Yeah, you can view faces in a way that you never would have been able to even in front row of the audience. And I just think, I don't really know what else you could do to capture this, and I think it's probably the perfect realization as a concert film. But yeah, it really draws you in. I mean, you can listen to it on, your streaming device. I was about to say CD. I'm embarrassed. You can listen on your streaming device, but there's just nothing like seeing these actors just belt this stuff out and look at each other and have their emotional responses on their faces. I mean, they're all great, but just the Hamilton and Burr thing really comes across in their postures. And Philippa Sue and Renee Elise Goldsberry, I mean, they each have a song. Everyone has a great song, but they each had a song where I was like, whoa, like almost just out of breath. It's so good. And just watching the veins in their neck emerge and like the anguish in their eyes. I mean, it's amazing. So yeah, it's crazy to think that this was supposed to be a huge theatrical release next year, right? Like Disney paid a crap load of money to acquire this.
How do you think it would have done?
I don't know. I mean, I have to imagine it would have done well. Would it have been something that everyone goes to see in droves? I have no idea. And it kind of makes me, I'm sure everyone behind it, all the filmmakers, are a little disappointed they'll never have that experience, But yeah, I mean, at the same time, I mean, we can't choose how the world spins, but I think in this moment, this was a really great idea to drop this in a way that most people can access. I mean, you have to have Disney Plus, but it was a really nice thing to sit down and watch in the middle of this, being stuck at home thing. So, do you have plans to check it out, or?
I'd like to. Yeah, it's trying to carve out the time to do it.
I mean, yeah, it is. You do have to carve out time. I think it's about 2 hours and 40 minutes. But it moves. It's very, very good.
Well, it's. Oh, and you saw something else too, right?
I did. Yeah. One more thing I wanted to talk about was this movie that dropped on Hulu called Palm Springs with Andy Samberg and Kristen Milotti, I believe it is, or Melody. And it's funny. I was gonna just sort of talk about the plot and everything, but I'd read in different places that some people watched it not knowing what it was about. And I think if that is possible, that is absolutely the best way to watch this. So I'm not going to get too much into the plot, except to say that I found it to be a really worthy addition into a trope or a genre that currently exists.
Sure.
in films. And what I think is so fun about it is it takes this thing that we're somewhat familiar with. It is really inventive. I mean, someone definitely had another great idea to expand upon an idea that's existed before, and it's silly, but it's also has its sort of dramatic moments, and it's Inventive. I mean, just inventive is the word I keep thinking of. It's really inventive, and I think Andy Samberg, who I've always liked him, even back from Lonely Island days, pre SNL. This is a really great next step character for him, I think, because it plays into his strengths, but he also gets a chance to actually play a character and not just himself. And Kristen Milioti. I'm sticking with Milioti.
I think it's Milioti.
Milioti. You know what? You've convinced me. Kristen Milioti. No, she is very much the co-lead in this story and has a really, really great arc. She's given like an opportunity to just absolutely, go to town with a character, and it's really interesting. And the movie adds layers as it goes on. It's not like it's peeling them back. It just keeps adding layers to it. That makes it just a really interesting watch. So, yeah, I laughed a lot. I really, really admired the script, and I don't know. I definitely recommend it. So I'll stick with that.
Well, there we go. And I like that you said a lot without saying anything.
Yeah, thank you.
So that worked.
I like to think it's one of my strengths.
We've got 204 episodes of that, so I guess we
right.
That's the collective mission of this show, is to say a lot and say nothing at all.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, I'm continuing my ER rewatch.
Yes. Where are you at?
So I'm about 2/3 of the way through season 8.
Wow. Okay.
So this is again 8 of 15 seasons.
Wow.
So I'm well past the halfway point, and now I've entered the final stretch of episodes that Anthony Edwards appeared in.
Oh man.
And this I remember from first run back in spring of 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like realizing, oh, I know what's coming, and I got to be honest, Brian, I'm not emotionally ready to deal with this again.
Right.
Because I was an absolute mess the first time around.
Right.
But it's I'm still enjoying it. I was thinking, the one thing I hear from a lot of people who watched it first run is, oh, I stopped watching after this season, or I gave up after this season, whatever. And I was like, I get that, because if it was airing weekly / yearly, I would have drifted away. I did, but like this format allows you to just stay with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I see no reason not to finish it out. I have every intention of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm like, that's interesting to me, because I think you look at a show like this, and it's such an interesting union of serialized and episodic.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, by the time the show ends, the cast is entirely different.
Huh.
Right. I mean, there's not a one left from the very beginning.
Really? That's amazing.
Right. And yet people still hung around. And I was like, I mean, by the end, it is in essence ER The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
Except we got there by just swapping out one character at a time, just doing it so gradually that people just hung on until the end, right?
And what a testament to creating great characters, that they drop them in and they're so strong that they can eventually take the mantle down the line. Yeah.
So yeah, still enjoying it. Again, I've mentioned this, like the kids have they've fully plugged into this now. So it's like, despite my efforts for it to be like just a show for me and my wife, because we have nothing else that's just ours, the kids have like insinuated themselves. They're like, oh, what's Abby going to do now?
That's great.
And it's funny because the subject matter is a little bit mature. You're talking about spousal abuse and drug use and things like that. And it occurred to me, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I was like, is this not a good forum in which to be exposed to some of that stuff?
Right, where it's not, I always say this word wrong, exploitive.
Yeah, or even being presented like some kind of a good thing,
Yeah, right.
There's consequences involved. So it's like, oh, this person OD'd on this drug, and now look at what they've done to themselves. Look at the effect they're having on the people that care about them. I'm like, well, that's
right.
Probably good. I mean, because this stuff is in the world, and they are going to be exposed to it in some way.
Right, and there's an integrity to this storytelling. Right?
Yeah.
So even if those mature themes get dropped in, they're going to be presented in a way with integrity.
You hope,
Yeah.
So that's been fun. Another thing I just wrapped up is a Middle Earth rewatch.
Wow, all 6?
All 6 movies. So 52 hours of content.
For a split second, I was like,
you're counting on your fingers.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Wait, did you watch the extended editions?
Extended editions of all 6.
No kidding. And so all the Hobbit movies have extended editions.
That's correct.
Oh wow.
So that's.
I want to hear all about it.
That's a lot of walking.
It's a lot of dishwashing in the
Hobbit. Yeah, this was a thing. I had watched these 5 years ago with the kids, but you realize, for them, I mean, my oldest was 8.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So it was kind of a fresh experience, and it was. I mean, I've said to you before, I disliked The Hobbit when it first came out. And I went through my own unexpected journey through the course of those 3 films.
Yeah.
Because by the end, I was like, you big lug,
Right.
Oh, right. I like them. I like the Hobbit trilogy. I think and I said this on Twitter, but I think for me, what makes those films work is to say, well, the Hobbit story is this relatively light, whatever, it's like 300 pages. And so just imagine that the Hobbit trilogy of films is a story of Middle-earth, which also happens to include the events of the Hobbit book.
Wow. Well put.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think when you view it that way, you can appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm.
It also helps that you're watching it at home and you can pause and go pee and,
yeah,
watch it in chunks. But I mean, I'm kind of like, well, I love this world,
Mm-hmm.
It's such a rich world that Peter Jackson brought to life, based on the world that Tolkien originated. And I'm like, well, if you like spending time with this world, then let's just see all the fun stuff here. It's almost like going on an amusement park ride. And so we watched them in chronological order. So we watched Hobbit first and then Lord of the Rings. And I think it works very well. Again, the boys, that's just how they think of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, by the end of the third one, by the end of Return of the King, that was the other critique, right? Oh my gosh, the thing just doesn't end.
Yeah.
Right? And admittedly, I haven't watched Return of the King much since it came out. Of all of them, I've seen that one the least. And, we get to the 15 different endings. And I'm like, well, sure, they could have ended it here.
Mm-hmm.
But then we would have lost all of this.
Yeah, even at the time, I absolutely understand the joke.
Yes.
And they're not wrong. But I was like, well, don't we want to see all this?
Yes.
We've spent all this time with these people. There isn't a moment maybe through the editing or the music, it just felt like false endings or something where you kept expecting it to cut to black, but there was nothing that I didn't want to experience.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that was my feeling. I was like, well, it's just a few more minutes with these characters. And it's like, once it's done, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's so I'm like, well, a little bit more time. Look, hey, we get to see a little bit more of Frodo. Oh, look, a little bit more of Sam. Why the hell not?
Right.
And I think these movies are an annuity. I think it's just going to be passed from generation to generation. They're going to be cherished.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over people shitting on the Hobbit movies now. I'm like, you know what? Again, it's my whole thing. It's been over for 5 years now. If you're still upset about it, find something else to be upset about. Right. Again, I've said this all the time. You get whatever I said. I think 6 months. You get 6 months. Get it out of your system.
Then move on.
Yeah. So I know you stopped The Hobbit. I think after the first one.
I saw the first and the second one actually.
Okay.
And it's funny because it wasn't even like a conscious choice to end. I just didn't find the time for the third one and didn't miss it, and I remember liking the second one actually. But
I think generally people seem to not like the third one.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I'm not going to disagree with that, but I'm like, well, it is the end of the story, so I mean, it's whatever,
Yeah. At some point, I can see myself, maybe with my future children. I'll get back to them.
If it's very funny because obviously the behind the scenes features are just voluminous, right? And either in the stuff for Desolation of Smaug, which is the second one, or the stuff for Battle of Five Armies, I can't remember. You can see Peter Jackson slowly going insane making these movies.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean it's the damnedest thing, right? Because if you remember Guillermo del Toro is supposed to make them,
right? I forgot about that. Yeah.
The can kept getting kicked down the curb, so del Toro is like guys, I gotta move on to a sure thing, right?
I got Fishman movie to make.
That's right. I gotta have the creature from the Black Lagoon's gotta have sex. That waits for no man,
And I was like, what? Because he walks out of the office.
So the interesting thing is that the production company, or Weta and all that, like Peter Jackson's production company, they were proceeding even without a green light. So the reason Peter Jackson stepped in to say, all right, I'll direct it, was just to sort of keep the train moving and keep everyone employed.
Wow.
So it was not something he was particularly wanting to do. And then partway through production, they're told, okay, it's not going to be 2 movies, it's going to be 3.
Right.
And so he had to contrive a cliffhanger for the second one that would lead into the third one. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's in the behind the scenes stuff where it's just Peter Jackson against a green room. Like, all right, okay, you're going to do this, 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 and this, and you're going to move like this, this, and this, and he's just acting out this stuff.
Right.
And you can see he looks and sounds like a broken man.
Really?
At that moment. And if you watch, I mean, the end of the second movie, it's Richard Armitage and all these people just kind of against a green screen. I mean, it's very obvious, right? Mm-hmm. And it's very funny. I mean, this is just the necessities of the fact that this is a business still. Mm-hmm. So you're told the people who are pulling the purse strings are like, all right, it's got to be 3.
Yeah.
Now what? So pretty interesting. But again, all of that in the past, you say, well, the movies are what they are, and I think they are enjoyable. And as a total work, I think they hang together pretty well as a 6-movie cycle.
Yeah. And what about Lord of the Rings being slightly older? I mean, do those still hold up? And
man, it's
been a while for me.
It had been a while for me too. And I mentioned, Return of the King is the one that I've seen the least, but it all just comes coming back. The music, the thematic material that Howard Shore came up with, the Fellowship music, the Hobbit music. Mm-hmm. It's like John Williams' Star Wars stuff for me. Yeah.
It's so good. So good.
It is, yeah.
I think that scene where they're lighting all the torches too. I think in the third one.
Oh my god, dude! I'd forgotten how stirring that is.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Right. And then at the end when Viggo Mortensen he tells the hobbits, he's like, "You bow to no one," and everybody.
I say that all the time, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it's still. I haven't seen that in years, but people will be like, "Oh, I need that pencil." I'm like, you pick up that pencil for no one. It just somehow worked its way into my weird things I repeat. But no, sorry to take the whatever out. No, that is a really powerful moment.
It really is so good. Yeah. So, if you're sheltering in place and you got some time, just carve out 57 hours and watch the extended Middle Earth movies.
Yeah.
And then I know you watched this too, Greyhound.
Yeah.
We just saw this
on Apple Plus, which
Apple TV
I wouldn't be
Plus.
surprised if some people didn't know what this was.
So it was supposed to be released theatrically, I think this month or last month.
June, yeah.
And obviously the theaters went bye-bye for the time being, and so Apple TV Plus picked up this movie, and we talked about it on the show. I think we were like, oh, this is the type of thing that now you and I get excited about.
Yes, yeah, we talked about the trailer. I remember that. Yeah,
And so I just finished watching it like an hour ago as we are recording this.
Yeah. Well, and we should say what it is. I mean, a movie that we would get excited about. It's basically Tom Hanks in a World War II true story battleship movie.
Yeah, before I got on the call, I told Brian, I was like, the alternate title for Greyhound could have been Tom Hanks movie.
Right.
And you would get exactly what that means.
Yeah. A man of integrity against all odds in World War II.
Yes, and so you've seen it as well, and I'm curious to hear what you thought. My thought is I enjoyed it. I did like it. Mm-hmm. I almost feel like it was better suited to a streaming platform than theatrical.
Yeah, sadly, yes.
Right?
Yeah. Why do you say that specifically? I have a couple thoughts, but
the story felt very like ABC.
Absolutely. I mean, this is literally almost. Sorry to hijack your.
No.
But I think this to compliment it. This felt like 3 episodes of a TV series taped together.
Yep.
It literally is 30 minutes, and then a moment is done, and then there's another 30 minutes, and another moment's done, and then it's 30 minutes, and the movie's over. I started paying attention to the time. I was like, oh wow, this is just sort of these 3 installments, even though they are connected in time. I just found that kind of.
I agree with that.
It's fine.
I think it works largely because Tom Hanks is Tom effing Hanks.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So when I see Tom Hanks looking over the edge of the boat, with like his brow furrowed, I'm like, oh man, what are you gonna do, Tom Hanks?
I know, it's so true.
So like I enjoy just watching Tom Hanks reacting, and so in that sense, it really is a showpiece for him, and it shows why he's a star. Mm-hmm. My kids from 13 to 6. Like, oh, Tom Hanks movie.
Wow.
And it occurred to me, I was like, how many actors are there like that of his vintage?
Yeah.
Like Tom Hanks, Harrison Ford. That's who I can think of.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's a low risk, low reward kind of thing. It ended, and I certainly didn't feel like I had wasted my time. I wouldn't say I was blown away by it.
I agree, and just so people are aware of the plot, it's Tom Hanks plays and by the way, in a script that he wrote.
Yeah.
He's a Navy commander, first time assignment, and he's on this destroyer, and he has to defend this convoy that's going to bring supplies to the Allies. And there's this ship, like a U-boat, I guess, like a submarine.
Yes.
That's like a threat, and so it's basically trying to stave off these attacks. And like I said, it's sort of episodic in nature. But, I had read, even before I watched it, even from people who enjoyed it, they basically said that the movie has no characterizations. And that was their criticism. There's a moment at the beginning where you see Tom Hanks character, I should say, and a love interest. Tom Hanks, screw it.
Yeah.
And a love interest played by Elizabeth Shue that I almost wouldn't be surprised if it was an afterthought that they
felt like it did.
We're like, oh wow, we know nothing about this guy.
Yeah.
Like, quick, we got to get a scene in here where he has some sort of backstory.
Yep.
It feels super perfunctory. I almost felt bad for Elizabeth Shue.
I was about to say it felt borderline insulting to Elizabeth Shue.
I totally agree. Right. Totally agree. Having said that, I think halfway through the film, when I realized what it was going to be like, I was like, oh, you know what this is? And I actually mean this as a compliment. It actually feels like a VR experience, putting you in the middle of a battle in World War II. Right? And remember when Lisa was thinking about the money
next 90 minutes, you'll eat who I eat.
Yes, when she's hanging out with Genghis Khan.
So that's like, imagine Tom Hanks saying that to you. You'll pillage who I pillage. Eat who I eat.
I mean, that's exactly what it is, because you are dropped right next to Tom Hanks. You know next to nothing about him. And then throughout the film, all these people are always coming up to him, and you never get to know them. And so you don't know these other dudes on the boat. You don't know what they're thinking. Like, one guy will come up to him all of a sudden, and he seems like nervous, but then he'll go away and you never see him again. And then another guy comes up and is like weirdly rude to him.
Right.
Or not rude, but a little more willing to, I don't know if we want to say talk back, but he's willing to have a little bit more attitude or stand up to him. And then he leaves, never see him again. So it really is like, what if you were to be an intern on this boat following Tom Hanks around for 48 hours? What is life like on a boat in the middle of World War II? And I actually started to like it more thinking of it that way, because it drops you in. It is entirely unapologetic about the jargon that's being barked.
Yes.
I mean, I think almost in a proud, unflinching manner. I think Tom Hanks was like, this is how they talked. I know how they talked, and I'm not going to explain it to you.
Yes.
And that was kind of cool. It's very immersive. And you just see these men working on these rudimentary instruments, and you think, oh my gosh, how are they doing, like fighting a war without the technology I'm aware of now? And it has these interesting little moments where it's one guy's entire job to repeat what the guy on radar is saying from below deck. And there's a moment where he sneezes and it slows down him passing along, intel that's immediately important. And that's all you get out of that guy. But it's just an interesting moment. So it's just life on a boat in a dire moment, and then your internship is over and you leave. And I actually admired it more when I viewed it through that lens. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think it's just a hair over 90 minutes.
Oh, so fast. I mean, the movie itself without credits is 82 minutes long.
Yeah, and I think that's actually the exact right length for the story that they're telling.
Yes.
Because we got to get from point A to point C, and there's a bunch of stuff that happens at point B.
And without the characterizations to, pull you along, you really are just, how long can I observe what's going on here and maintain interest?
Yeah, and so I mean, I think I'm curious, right, how it would have performed had it been released to theaters, Mm-hmm. And my understanding is, I'm looking at the budget right now, $50 million.
Yeah, right.
It would have made that back.
Yeah, I think so.
I
think so.
And I'm watching this. I'm like, and maybe you had the same thought, but I'm like, my dad would love this movie.
As soon as it was over, I texted my dad, and I was like, "All right, here's my login info. Watch this tonight."
That's right. There's a part in the beginning, you're talking about the jargon where like Tom Hanks is on the he's looking through his binoculars or whatever, and the guy comes up, we got a transmission, it says Huff Duff. Oh, Huff Duff, that's high frequency diff whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Tom Hanks is showing off right there.
I had that exact same thought, probably in a different moment, where he's on some sort of phone call and he's like, drop the TRLs to the beep dop doo, we're gonna go deep dop dop. And I was like, oh, he's just like, he almost wants to look at the camera and break the fourth wall and be like, yeah, I know this. I know what I'm saying. And then like go back.
I mean, I think it just, that's what you can do when you're Tom Hanks.
Sure. And like I said, I kind of enjoyed that unflinching, no explanations, just you're in the thick of it and then you're out of it.
Yeah.
I don't think this movie is for everyone, by the way. I think some people will find it impenetrable or,
yes.
If you think you're not interested in this, you're probably not. Let's just put it that way.
There we go. All right. Well, let's take a short break and we'll come back. We got some listener letters and we talk some headlines.
Great.
Okay, we are back, and as mentioned, we do have a couple comments we've gotten from people over the last
Great.
week or so. So Brian, remember last week we dropped that RoboCop 2 commentary?
I remember.
It proved divisive what we had to say.
Really?
Kind of interesting. So I got one message. This is on Twitter, and this is from Carlos DM at Canadian Cape Crusader, and he says, "My man Zachy and Brian, thanks for an enjoyable morning with this one. Nailed it on Hobb, who's a little kid, the little asshole kid.
Yeah.
Not being Murphy's son as a missed opportunity that could have redeemed the endeavor. Also,
that was a good call you made.
Well, I'm just that good, Brian." I'm just kidding. Also, your words on Frank Miller were as though they pulled from my own heart, brother. So I am on the record as being not a big Frank Miller fan, and it's interesting because I think what we both came away with following our commentary was that this was there was a lot of potential there, but kind of a swing and a miss.
Yeah, I think you had to be there. If you had feelings for it at all, I think it had to be from some sort of like childhood affinity. That was my kind of personal take, because I saw it for the first time as a 40-year-old man and was like...
And you're like, F this, and F you, Zachy, for making me do this.
No, I was just like, I enjoyed some of the visuals of it, but I just had a hard time feeling like it was worth my time.
Well, Brian, this is a note I got from Marshall on Twitter.
Okay.
And he disagrees with what you just said.
Okay.
He says, I have to tell you about my experience the other day. I listened to your RoboCop 2 commentary without having rewatched the movie in decades. I loved RoboCop as a kid, and RoboCop 2 is a massive nostalgia film for me. I listened to your commentary about the film and started to retroactively change my opinion on the film, thinking it was a bad film, even though I have such strong feelings for it. Discovering that it was directed by Irvin Kershner and written by Frank Miller, I knew I needed to rewatch it and see how it holds up for myself. I could not believe how much I loved this film as an adult, and I mostly disagreed with all your criticisms and complaints. Brian. He didn't say Brian, but I'm just going to assume. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Comma, Brian.
Comma, Brian, yeah. Parentheses, Brian. The film just worked for me. I got this Dark Knight vibe of Batman versus Joker. This is prime RoboCop going against the worst criminal imaginable, and it's a back-and-forth battle for the soul of Detroit. Anyway, I'm not going to go on forever, and I agree with some of your feelings. I've just never disagreed with you guys so much on a film. And that's okay. I'm glad it made me rediscover that movie, and I wish I could talk about it with you guys. I have so many thoughts.
Man, I can't even tell you how much that note means to me for so many reasons. One, I'm so glad that Marshall went back and revisited the film and renewed his love for it. I'm really happy about that. And I also love that he disagreed with us and took the time to write us and tell us why. I love that. And then also, I love at the end, this just goes back to your whole 6 months and move on thing. This is just in that same sort of arena. I love I've never disagreed with you guys so much on a film, and that's okay! ! I mean, mwah. Like, this is what film fandom should be about. Like, discussions like this. I love it. I so appreciate that message, Marshall. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to say, Marshall, I don't appreciate that after listening to us, instead of trusting our word for it, you felt the need to prove us wrong. I don't appreciate that. So get the F out of here with that.
Yeah. No, look, and I'll just couch for the people who didn't listen. I was in a very, very busy week of my life, and I had to watch this movie pretty much as homework at 10 at night when I just wanted a moment alone to myself, and it just wasn't my favorite use of free time during a busy moment. So I'm certain that played into it, and I wasn't able to just sort of let myself loose as much as required for this film. But I didn't find it as essential going into it all these years later for the first time. But I'm so glad. I'm so glad for the people who this is a touchstone for them, because I certainly have. Like I bring up all the time. I don't know how well Short Circuit 2 would go over with anyone for the first time, but that movie has a piece of my heart.
That is
always had
jam.
it since I was a kid. So I know I have my touchstones too.
And what else? And I'm joking, Marshall. Obviously, I'm glad you went back and watched it. But what Marshall says about the Dark Knight vibe, Batman versus Joker, the worst criminal imaginable, back and forth soul of Detroit. I truly I think the seeds for all of that were there.
Yes,
are there. I wish they would have been given a little bit of water and a little bit of fertilizer.
Wholeheartedly agree. Agree. I do. I believe those things are there, and like Zachy, I just wish I wish they had been watered a bit more.
And there we go. And I got, because we talked in the middle of our commentary, I compared it to the Planet of the Apes sequels. And so I got a message on Facebook from Leonard who says, this year is the 50th anniversary of Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Period. Commentary track? Question mark. To which I will say, well, I've already called in one favor with Brian this year, so I might be out. However, one thing I will say is it's like 90 minutes and done. So if you do feel like watching the second Planet of the Apes movie with me, Brian.
I have... Did we watch it together?
We've never watched it.
Okay, I have seen it. I went on a kick. They were on...
Did you really?
Classics. Oh, yeah.
I don't think we've talked about this. You watched the ape movies?
I have not seen all of them.
Okay.
But I watched, I think, the next two because A, I was interested, and B, frankly, I love you. So I wanted to love what you love, and I wanted to see them. And so, and I enjoyed it.
Eat who you eat, pillage.
Yeah. I love that little noise you make.
Yeah, right.
That's a Simpsons reference, by the way, for people who are like, "What the hell?"
From like 5 minutes ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be totally in on that, and full well knowing I don't have a lot to contribute, but I think you would, and I think it's worth putting that down on tape. Let's do it.
So you watched the next two. You watched Beneath the Planet of the Apes and Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, and I wanted to keep going. I feel like there was one more, and
at least Conquest of the Planet of the Apes would be worth watching.
Okay, yeah, I want to do it. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of fun because I do like that world, not to the degree you do, but I do enjoy it, and it was cool knowing there were stories I hadn't seen, and I just was totally in the mood for it. So yeah.
See, you know what's interesting is just as a point of comparison with RoboCop, when I look at the ape sequels, and I think I said this on the track, I look at that and I'm like, with RoboCop 2, they're like, all right, let's line up another crook and off we go, right? Mm-hmm. With the ape movies, they were in this situation. It's like, all right, well, our main actor is gone and the budget has been sliced by half. What do we do?
Right.
And sort of like necessity becomes the mother of invention. And so you end up with these movies that are not a patch on the original, but they're doing something interesting. They're carrying the ball forward. Mm-hmm. Let's blow up the planet. What the hell? Like, that's, to me, and I don't know if I would have felt the same way when I was a kid, but as an adult, I appreciate that. I appreciate that the sequels are not just, and now here's another guy, he's being hunted.
Right.
And, like they're the third one, let's just bring him back to the 70s. Let's see what the hell happens there,
Right.
We got $10. That's our budget. What do we do with that? I don't know. Right. Put Roddy McDowell in the Los Angeles Zoo. Right. I think for me the second ape film is fascinating for what it clearly wants to do and just how absolutely bananas it is. I mean, you got a room full of these mutants pulling their faces off. And, come on, this is a G-rated. This is a kids movie.
right.
You got
like worshiping a missile, and
dude. I remember when
it's wild. I enjoyed it.
You know what? Maybe before the year is out, we could sneak that in.
Yeah.
The fact that it is 90 minutes is something that that to me makes me say, I can talk about this movie for 90 minutes.
For sure. Yeah.
So thank you for that, Leonard. What else is going on? We got some headlines, Brian.
Yeah, we do. Surprisingly,
right? A lot of headlines. Some unfortunate news in terms of people who have passed away.
Yeah,
and I mean, it really feels like it's been one after the other, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, you're reading about all these horrifying, real, what I'm trying to say, like current event passing.
Yes.
And then just people of natural causes and people going missing and people. It just feels like every day is just another batch of bad news. Yeah.
So right off the bat, we lost Carl Reiner at the tail end of June. Mm-hmm. Carl Reiner was 98 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy to realize that Ocean's 11 was 19 years ago.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Right. And he was the old guy in that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Wow. I mean, what a mark that guy left.
What a legacy. I mean, you talk about somebody who shaped comedy for virtually the entirety of his career. I mean, you go back 50 years and you look at Dick Van Dyke and you look at obviously all the stuff that he did with Mel Brooks. But just also, I mean, more important than any of that, just a good guy. A decent man.
Yep.
And, that's borne out by everyone who ever talks about him, before he passed away. Oh, God, what a good guy.
Yep. And you hear these stories recently in the past few years where him and Mel Brooks were such good friends that they would get together every night and have dinner and watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy and then watch a movie. And you're like, damn, that's just what I want for my life, Like,
right.
A friendship like that, just to know that lies ahead, that just seems so warm. And
yeah, it's his friendship with Mel Brooks spanned 50 years. And, when I heard about his passing, I thought of Mel Brooks. Because to live to be that age, both of them made it into their 90s, and you're saying goodbye to more and more people. And I can't imagine.
No.
And obviously he's also the father of Rob Reiner. And one of if not the last thing that Carl Reiner filmed was a little video, like a TikTok video with Rob Reiner, where they reenact the storytelling in The Princess Bride.
It was unreal. You sent it to me, and I didn't even know what it was. And just knowing, I mean, that part of the movie makes me cry anyway, right?
Yeah.
But then seeing Rob Reiner, the filmmaker who made that movie, as the Fred Savage character, and Carl Reiner as, the grandfather figure, saying goodbye, saying I love you essentially to his son, and then closing a door. I was not prepared.
As you wish. Put it that way. That's the last thing he says.
As you wish. Yeah.
So Carl Reiner, 98, and worth mentioning that he up until he died, he remained vehemently opposed to sort of the current political situation that's been going on, and it's been interesting to see, looking at his Twitter feed. Basically, one of the last things he tweeted. He says, as I rose at 7:30, this is June 29th, this is the day he died. As I rose at 7:30 this morning, I was saddened to relive the day that led up to the election of a bankrupted and corrupt businessman who had no qualifications to be the leader of any country in the civilized world. And I thought, wow, that's kind of a bummer. Like, that's...
Yeah. That's isn't that incredible, though? I mean, at 98, on Twitter.
Yeah.
Still plugged in.
It's crazy, Still
making videos. Yeah, I mean,
I'm actually looking at his Twitter feed right now. This is 2 days before he died. He says, "Nothing pleases me more than knowing that I've lived the best life possible by having met and married the gifted Estelle Labost, who partnered with me in bringing Rob, Annie, and Lucas Reiner into this needy and evolving world."
Aww.
So, Rob Reiner, he will be missed. Another person who passed away, and this surprised the crap out of me. Kelly Preston.
Yeah, that was shocking.
So Kelly Preston, I mean, she's been acting for a long time, but she's perhaps best known, or more known, as the wife of John Travolta. She was 57, and she died of breast cancer.
Right, which I guess John Travolta wrote that they had sort of been keeping it private.
Yeah. So
it was shocking. Yeah.
Now, I mean, their son died about 10 years ago.
Yes, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, again, I was thinking of John Travolta. I was like, the poor guy,
Yeah, I had that very same thought. He's weathered a lot of storms.
He has been a bit of a punchline at times, But one thing I've never doubted is he's always struck me as a very decent and kind man.
Yeah, seems to be. I mean,
right.
he's pretty private, I mean, he has a very public persona that I think is very polished. But yeah, it's funny too, because I know people are giving him crap for a long time about his supposed hairpiece.
Yes.
Right? And I remember thinking like, that's just mean. And then also, I just wanted him to feel comfortable being himself. And then I remember when he sort of debuted a shaved head, I was like,
good for him.
Good for him. Yeah. Be you.
Yeah, and he's right, and he's endured a lot of whispers about his supposed sexuality, or whatever. Right. And I mean, at the end of the day, look, he's a person, right?
Right.
And that's the thought that I had. I was like, I can't even imagine. I mean, within the span of roughly 10 years, to lose your son and your wife. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another passing worth noting here, Grant Imahara.
Another shocking.
He was 49 years old, so he was host of Mythbusters.
Yeah.
And also White Rabbit Project, and I mean 49 years old. I as far as I know, they have not even released a cause of death. I think it's just he had a heart attack.
Or was a brain aneurysm.
Brain aneurysm.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know, Brian. I mean, this is one of those situations where when you say 49, that's getting into our vicinity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's. I mean, that's not young, but it's not old either.
Certainly not old. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was, I mean, I really enjoyed him on that show. He also, there was a series of Star Trek fan films. I think it's called Star Trek Continues. And he played Sulu.
Oh, fun. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that was just, just doing it for the hell of it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, everyone you talked to said what a really kind and nice guy he was. And you do feel a little bit like, man, why is it always like the nice people?
Right.
I feel like there's a few people that maybe we could thin the herd a little bit,
Yeah.
And then lastly, we this is just, I mean, we were just talking
shocking.
About... Yeah. Last week, speaking of RoboCop 2, we were talking about her during the course of our RoboCop commentary track. Galen George, who had appeared, she was on Twin Peaks. She had been on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She was on that TV show Mantis, which I mentioned to you before, and of course she was the villain's love interest in RoboCop 2. She passed away at 55. Again, cancer.
Yep.
I don't know. Cancer, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't even read the headline. I just saw her face and I was like, hey, that's the woman from RoboCop 2.
Yeah.
It's so weird, but having just watched that movie twice but it's just shocking. I don't know.
Very sad. Very sad.
Also, Naya Rivera, who was an actress on Glee. This was a weird one too, where it seemed like she was having a day out on a boat with her son, and something happened. I don't know if it was bad water or whatever, but the story, as I understand it, is she helped her son back into a boat. But she, in helping her son, wasn't able to help herself and had gone missing for a couple days. And then they, finally searched and found her and, lost her too. It's just tragic.
Her son was found alone.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah,
okay.
He was asleep on the boat wearing his life jacket.
Right.
And it says here the boat, I'm looking at Wikipedia right now, it says the boat was in the Narrows, an arrow at the north of the lake, and it was a man-made reservoir that can be quite deep and windy. So, and an adult life jacket was found on board, so she was not wearing her life jacket.
Yeah. No, that was just sad. And that one sort of stretched out over a couple days.
A couple days, yeah.
And then just
4 years old, the son, 4 years old.
Ugh.
Can you imagine? I mean, she was 32, 33, and her son was 4, and I can't even imagine what that child must be going through.
No.
It is. I mean, it strikes me like Glee has had a couple of cast members pass away, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm not super familiar with the show, so I'm not super familiar with the cast.
Corey Monteith, I think was his name.
Okay, yeah,
right. He had a drug problem, I believe.
Right. Yeah, I think that was an overdose.
Yeah, but still, I mean, again, when it comes down to it, like you think of the people left behind. I'm thinking of that 4-year-old. I can't. It's hard to process.
Yep.
Yep.
Rough week for a lot of people.
A lot of people, yeah.
People public and people that we won't hear about. So
Yeah, very true. Yeah. So movies have begun shooting, right?
yeah, that's my understanding. I mean, did we talk about this already, the Jurassic World thing, or was that just in real life we were talking about that?
Well, we mentioned that they were going to start shooting, and they've spent they've spared no expense to make sure that it's a safe set and everything else. But what I read was, even though production is continuing, that when they came back, there were actually crew members who in fact had COVID-19, and so they had to be quarantined.
Despite best efforts.
I mean, what does the next calendar year look like as far as Hollywood productions?
It's so weird. I mean, I'm certainly sympathetic to this because, I mean, these are people's livelihoods. I have a friend who works in the AD department, and she's going crazy. She's ready to work, and she wants to work, and I completely understand that. And so I think the thing about the Jurassic World was, man, they went above and beyond, like you said, spare no expense. And then day one this happens, you're just like, oh, it's I don't know, it's very uncharted waters. Well, speaking of Uncharted started filming also with Tom Holland.
Really?
Yeah, which I was surprised. I guess they tweeted a picture of him from set, and so it was to my surprise. I didn't realize that all these movies were starting up at this moment. So like you said, I mean, what's up ahead, I don't know. Like, we have all these movies in the bank, right, ready to be released, but at some point, production is slowed so much, you wonder if we're going to catch up to that moment and just have a bit of a, sort of an empty...
Yeah, I mean, everything right now is hinging on once we get back into production.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously... you have just a handful of high-profile movies that are, and I think all eyes are going to be on them to see if they can pull it off.
Right. Oh, you're saying the ones that are finished, like Tenet and Mulan and all that?
No, I mean, like, in terms of being able to ramp up production.
Oh, to see if production is possible.
Let's look at Jurassic World and see if that's feasible.
Right. I wonder how much they have left. I mean, they have 3 months left, or do they have a couple weeks that they needed to wrap up? And
I mean, the big three from the originals had not even started filming,
right?
So and they're integral to the plot. So one assumes it's not just sort of wrapping things up.
Wow.
Right, and that's the question, right? My understanding is, in that situation, like, all of the actors who are going to be together, quarantined together, like, it was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, we're dealing with a virus that doesn't seem to follow any rules.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And every time you have people together, you're accelerating potential risk.
Yep, and despite best efforts.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's easy to be cynical and say, oh, all these corporations care about is money. It's like, well, yeah, but it's work.
Yeah,
it's what I mean. These are people's livelihoods, so that is reason enough to get back into the swing of things. But I don't know.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to even put an exclamation point on that, because it's easy to think like, oh, movies, that's like the last of our concerns. Who cares? But I mean, these are thousands of jobs and livelihoods.
Yeah,
it's an industry. It's work. It's work like any other work for a lot of people, and I really, really. I know a lot of these people, and I want them to be able to not be worried about their payments and their bills and
right,
just like anybody else.
Well, what else is going on?
Well, going along with this, it's been interesting as there hasn't really been a slowdown in announcing movies.
Yeah.
Right? Which feels a little bit like, yeah, of course. I mean, you want to show that the ball is rolling and things are moving forward, deals are being made, movies are coming. But then I also get a little bit like, yeah, but when?
Yeah, right.
Like, when is this movie going to happen?
Totally.
But along those lines, the movie Fletch, a reboot of Fletch, has been announced that's going to come from Greg Mottola, who did Superbad, and starring John Hamm as Fletch.
So they've been talking, I mean, seriously, they've been talking about rebooting Fletch for, no joke, as long as I've known you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this was a 10-year stretch that Kevin Smith, I think, was trying to get this thing made.
Yeah.
With Jason Lee.
Jason Lee, and then they were going to do it with Zach Braff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think Bill Lawrence was going to do that. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? They've been talking about this, and so I'll believe it when it happens. That's number one. That being said, I think the idea of John Hamm in the role, actually, some people online are like, oh, he's too handsome. I'm like, no, I think he's actually perfect for this because I think he's very funny.
I love John Hamm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, maybe they're thinking of the Chevy Chase movies, and they're thinking more of a person putting on a lot of costumes and acting goofy. Which I've only seen the first one, by the way. I have never seen the second one.
I have not seen the second one either.
Yeah, but I have read the books. Actually, I've read a couple of the books.
Oh, interesting.
And they're not as Chevy Chase as the movies are.
Okay.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean those movies are beloved and of their time and whatnot. But there's absolutely room for a little different of an interpretation. So I'm into it. I hope it gets made.
I'll believe it when it happened. I think this is just one of those things. And truthfully, I think Hollywood is vastly overestimating the audience for more Fletch.
I will agree. I mean, I hate myself for saying this out loud, but this does feel like a perfect Netflix movie.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like kind of low risk, low reward sort of thing. Like put it out there for quote unquote free. People will turn it on, Right. But will people, especially in this climate, who knows by the time this thing exists what the world will look like, but will people get in their cars and get a babysitter and drive out to go see a new Fletch movie? I don't know if that means a whole lot to a whole lot of people. But
yeah. I don't know.
I hate what I just said. I just don't want to think about that world. But anyway, similarly, this is maybe about a week ago, it was announced that they're thinking about doing a whole new spin-off, I guess is the right word, for the Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah, I heard about that.
With Margot Robbie. And it will be coming from Christina Hodson, who wrote Birds of Prey and Bumblebee. So This isn't like a reboot. She's not going to be playing like Jacqueline Swarovski or anything.
Swarovski.
You know what I mean? Apparently this is like a whole other character and a whole other adventure in the Pirates universe. But yeah, I mean, Johnny Depp lately in the news has been embroiled in a lot of personal scandal, and Disney, it seems like the public love of those films has declined, but regardless, those movies continue to make a lot of money. And so they've got to figure out some way to keep that franchise alive, and this looks like their latest effort.
I get it in a like a spreadsheet kind of way.
Yes.
Right? Like you picture, somebody in a Disney corporate office being like, all right, we got Pirates of the Caribbean in this column and Margot Robbie in this column, and it's like Battleship, it just connects right there, and you just.
That is so. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
it feels like that, right?
This is like a Police Cops,
yes,
sort of thing. Yeah.
So I've said before, I do not like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I do not like them on a dish. I do not like them on a fish.
Yes,
I'm done. It's because we wrapped up Middle Earth, and the boys were like, "Oh, what's our next series?" And one of them was like, let's do all the Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like,
"Oh no, kidding.
I will beat you right now." Never done it before. It'll be justified right now.
How's that on their radar? I'm just curious. Have they seen one of them, or
they've seen them before?
Okay. Oh, I see.
And they're like aware of it because it's just a thing that kids know about.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no. But what's funny is my daughter, she is 3, on YouTube, she'll see a picture of Margot Robbie from Birds of Prey. She's like, put on Harley Quinn. And I'm like, how in the universe do you know who Harley Quinn is?
First of all, yeah.
She loves Harley Quinn.
That's fascinating.
It's freaking weird, right?
I will say, when she's done right, she's a great character.
Yeah, no doubt.
Going back to that game I just played, the Batman: The Enemy Within on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
She is a main character in that game, and is probably one of my favorite iterations of her I've ever encountered.
Oh wow, okay.
So and Margot Robbie is great as her too. I wish her better movies, because she's so inhabits it perfectly and clearly she loves it.
Yeah.
But that's fascinating. I mean, that character is just clearly captivating to.
But here's the thing, and I like Margot Robbie. Doesn't a Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Jack Sparrow sound a little bit like Men in Black International?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I like Margot Robbie a lot. I think she continues to prove herself. So there's a benefit of a doubt that comes with me. But yes, exactly. I mean, I like Chris Hemsworth too. Let's play in Tessa Thompson. So good point taken.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Johnny Depp situation is a mess, obviously.
Yeah.
And not getting into all that, but I think the audience at large would still prefer to see Johnny Depp. Like, I don't think that
or Jack Sparrow,
as Jack Sparrow. I don't think the larger audience is paying particular attention to the court situation. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, if ever there was a he said she said, it is that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not even going into it, but the one thing that's clear is it's just these are two people who are just throwing this stuff at you. So it is an absolute mess.
Yeah. And I just building upon what you said, when I think of those movies, I only really like the first one, and I didn't hate the last one, to my shock. I remember we talked about it on here. I was like, well, I'll be damned, I kind of enjoyed this. But the thing is those movies are Jack Sparrow, and I don't care about that universe. I don't care. I remember being in the third movie and being like, I can't even remember the reference. I just can hear Milhouse's voice in my head being like, when is this going to be over? I remember like squirming in my seat, praying for it to end. So I'm not interested in the mythos. I'm not interested in the world. They just happened to strike lightning with that character.
Yeah.
So if they can do it twice with another character that is equally as interesting and lovable, then they'll have something. But otherwise, we're not showing up for a return to that universe.
Well,
it's so convoluted and unnecessarily. That third one. I remember that feeling, just the restless feeling watching that movie.
You know what irked me? Because I went through them all in the lead up to number 6 or 5.
Holy cow, there's 6?
5, sorry, whatever that.
Oh, okay.
It might as well be 6. It's so
yeah,
long,
okay.
Right? In the lead up to number 5, yeah, I watched them all, and what I realized was these movies don't care about their own mythology. Mm-hmm. Because they're just making it up as they go. And, it's like, maybe not this extreme, but it would be like watching all 5 Michael Bay Transformers movies in a row.
Right.
And you'd be like, this one doesn't know what the previous one did.
Right.
That's what it felt like to me. So I am not even remotely the audience. I hope people are excited. But, I think Margot Robbie has every reason not to do this. That's my thought.
Yeah, unless there's some sort of... I mean, sort of like Johnny Depp. Like, why do you make 5 of those? Clearly he likes being silly. Right? So maybe there's some sort of take on this that she will find, satisfying for herself. I have no idea. But I agree with you. She doesn't need it.
I mean, why did he do 5? It's because they were backing up a Brinks truck to his house by the end, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, he could. I think his salary for the 5th one was just Australia. Right. You now own the continent. So
and he's like savvy.
Yeah. So
I think he really talks like that. Yeah.
So I don't know. The Pirates movies are the clearest indicator to me that I'm getting old, because I'm just like, I don't get this.
Yeah. Nah. Well, yeah. I guess. I mean, they still make a ton of money, but I feel like collectively audiences were like losing interest anyway as well.
Right.
But
yeah. Well, speaking of audiences potentially losing interest, I think I hear some music.
Aww. Star Wars has really come to a standstill, hasn't it?
It feels like it.
I mean, there was news every single week, and then we had The Mandalorian, but in this moment, I mean, I guess it shouldn't be surprising as production has come to a standstill, but isn't it just kind of sad? Just there was so much excitement and joy and anticipation, and now it's almost, I've kind of come to dread this section of the show.
Ugh, man.
Right. But anyway, yeah, well, I mean, what do you have here for Star Wars news?
well, okay, so there's a new animated series Disney just announced.
Oh, okay.
And it's, first of all, the title got a lot of people excited online. It's called The Bad Batch.
Okay.
Which I just glanced at it. I was like, Star Wars: The Bad Bitch. What the hell? You know.
Oh, that's funny.
But it's about this group of clone troopers who, like, they were like, they escaped Order 66.
Okay.
And it's their adventures post Clone Wars, whatever. And I'm like, I hear that, and I'm like, all right, well, fine, I guess. But I'm just like, it doesn't sound like something I'm particularly interested in watching regularly.
Ditto.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've said this, I'm pretty sure I've said this on the show. I know I've said it on Twitter. I'm like, you have 30 years of stories featuring Luke, Han, and Leia that have gone completely unexplored. Why on earth are you not greenlighting that as an ongoing venture, even if it's animated? You'll get people excited for that. Yeah,
I saw that with the theater situation, drive-ins are opening, right?
Right.
And so the box office is still happening, but the number one movie is making, $500,000 or $250,000. And I saw that they had released Force Awakens, and it did like a little ding, it came in maybe like 9th or something for a week. But then they put out Empire Strikes Back, and it came in first at $500,000, which is the most I've seen.
Wow.
For the current box office. So, I mean, it's like Disney doesn't want to believe that everyone still loves those characters.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I completely agree with you. Through animation or something. Let's
something,
see,
right?
It's the continuing adventures.
And by the way, this year is the 5th anniversary of The Force Awakens.
Wow.
So we might want to think about doing our Star Wars commentary at the end of the year.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. I can't believe, we haven't done one of the new ones, have we?
The new one might be a good time to start. But,
sure.
But I look at the sequels, and we've gone on our whole journey with them, and I like them just fine. But I'm also, with the benefit of having that entire story completed, you do, and I'm curious what you think, you do sort of say, by you I mean me, like, did these 3 movies add anything that I didn't already have with the original trilogy?
Right.
And I have to say probably no, right?
Yeah. As you were talking, I was trying to think like, well, how would I sum up what I would say of these movies? Because I enjoy them too, but I would also call them flawed with a capital F.
Yeah.
But that they're enjoyable. But were they necessary? Yeah, I don't know. It's debatable.
I would call them fun with the capital FU.
Yeah. I mean, undercooked. I think there was a lot of strong seeds, but I don't know.
It's tough.
Sorry, I know. I feel like I'm like on a whole other road right now.
I know.
Train of thought, but
I read Colin Trevorrow's script.
Oh yes. Did we talk about this?
I don't know if we did
on air. Maybe not.
We talked about like the broad outline before. I haven't talked to you since I read it.
Oh, okay.
But having read it, I'm absolutely perplexed that Disney parted ways with them. I don't understand why.
It's good. I recommend people seek it out. I think it felt like a worthy conclusion to a series.
Yes, right?
It truly felt like Star Wars.
So you've read it too. I didn't know that you've read it.
Yeah. No, I just admired that the plot was really like the galaxy is in on this thing, and if we don't do this, it's all over. Like we've got to do this, and we've got to come together. And it really felt like everyone coming together for a really consequential ending. And
Right.
I really enjoyed it.
I like so one thing you say it was written before Carrie Fisher died, so that would have
Yes,
necessitated some reverse engineering. Okay, and we don't know how that would have affected it, but certainly the story as it was constructed, I think it did justice to the new characters. I think it did justice to Luke. Certainly, Luke had great moments in it.
Yep.
And the ending, I get to the ending, and I'm like, I really like this. Feels like a natural conclusion.
Yeah, I agree.
And so it was just this weird thing where I read it, and you hate judging a movie by what it isn't.
Yes.
But then I look at Rise of Skywalker, and I'm like, well, then why'd you do this? Like, why'd you do, Mm-hmm. It's odd, like, because I'm so bipolar about these new movies.
Me too.
I really am. Like, it's depending on what hour of the day you catch me.
It's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like, oh, well, the Rise of Skywalker sucks because it's not the Duel of the Fates. But I look at the Duel of the Fates and I'm like, what here did Disney find unacceptable? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, someday I hope we get a book.
Seriously. Because my thought is, if Disney's reaction was purely based on backlash to The Last Jedi, I feel like this movie would have addressed a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whether you liked or disliked Last Jedi, this would have given you something to enjoy.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Whereas it feels like many of the compromises they arrived at with Rise of Skywalker, I don't think anybody liked.
Right.
And that's what's weird to me,
Yeah.
So I'm just like, man, this is a hell of a way to run a railroad. And if this is,
I like that expression.
Thank you.
I got to start incorporating that into my speech.
I've been saying that for decades.
I like that.
But I'm just like, you can see why Star Wars is in this weird period of stasis, because it's just like, it feels like nobody knows what to do with it.
Someone smart will figure it out, but they're at a real crossroads right now, and I don't envy them trying to figure out what to do next.
It's baffling. It's I don't know, because I'm not on the hate train of like, oh
no,
all like, oh, we'll raise a Mary Sue and all that other friggin' bullshit. I'm not on that, because I like the new scenarios, I like the new characters, I like how the sequels expanded the world.
Yeah, agreed.
What I'm less a fan of is just some of the choices they made that made the whole thing feel smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think Star Wars is just meant to be a thing that people are always pissed off about.
It was occurring to me as we were having this discussion that I had a Star Wars conversation with a friend recently. I had a Star Wars conversation with my brother recently. We're going to be doing this the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that being said, I do like this, that on Twitter, somebody was like, oh, say something nice about the prequels.
Okay.
And Ryan Johnson jumped in and said a lot of stuff that was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was like, say something genuinely nice about the prequels. And Ryan Johnson says, Lucas made a gorgeous 7-hour-long movie for children about how entitlement and fear of loss turns good people into fascists, and did it while spearheading nearly every technical sea change in modern filmmaking of the past 30 years.
Regardless of people's feelings on him, I think he's a nice guy, and I think he makes good movies, and I wonder if this is a wound for him. Like, if it's like this bruise that never heals when he goes on Twitter and he sees things about Star Wars and just like, oh yeah, that old war wound I have.
Yeah.
So seeing him post something like this, that he still has these passionate feelings about Star Wars, makes me happy. I want him to still love that world.
I see it all the time. People call him Ruin Johnson.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you, 5?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's how you talk, But I say, from my own experience, because I got to talk Star Wars with him.
Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
Right? And I was so glad to be able to do that, right? Because I think I said this to you. I was like, I wanted him to know that movie, people do like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And just geeking out with him about Star Wars, I was like, this guy is a Star Wars fan. You can say all kinds of things. You can't say he's not a fan. He likes it.
Right.
And I think his instincts were on point. And I again, knowing what Trevorrow had planned with Duel of the Fates, I'm like, a lot of those creative choices would have paid off more meaningfully, I think, had they gone that way.
Right.
But instead, we have a situation where this is a conversation I had with somebody. I think they summed it up so perfectly. Rise of Skywalker is like it's ignoring The Last Jedi in some ways, right? Tonally, but it's like you can't just go from Force Awakens to Rise of Skywalker. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like Rise of Skywalker is like the sequel to the sequel that JJ didn't make.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is weird. I don't know. So it's like they should have just had one guy.
Yes, that's the ultimate, in my opinion, the ultimate conclusion to any of these debates and conversations. They should have had one person, whether they directed and wrote all of them or they were just sort of overseeing them, whatever sort of Godfather-esque role.
Yeah.
That is just always going to be the conclusion in my book.
And the truth is, I almost I want to put a moratorium on Star Wars sequel talk on this show because I feel like we're saying the exact same thing.
Sometimes I feel that too. Yeah,
right?
I just sort of repeating ourselves. And like I said, I do it anyway in real life, continually. But I'm with you. Onwards and upwards.
So anyway, there's a bunch of more Star Wars shit coming. Actually, this is kind of interesting. Alden Ehrenreich gave an interview where he was asked about more Solo stuff, and he says he's hearing some stuff.
Frankly, I think that would be so perfectly suited to Disney Plus.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Like it says here, this is an interview he gave with Esquire, and it says, okay, as for a Solo sequel, it doesn't seem like there's anything going on that front right now. He says, no, I don't know anything about that. I mean, I think our movie was kind of the last of the conventional era Star Wars movie release time. But there's a sliver of hope. He says he's heard some rumors about happenings in the Star Wars world. He says, I've heard some stuff, but nothing concrete. So, there we go.
Yeah.
That does feel like something that would be perfectly suited to Disney Plus.
Yeah, and I remember when we saw that, we were both like, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
And then it turned out not to be the thing we expected it to be, but it's been satisfying seeing people discover it.
Yes.
Since its release and going, oh, wow, dang, I missed that, but that was really fun. Yeah.
So there we go. So as we wrap up our Star Wars news segment this week, that's sort of the collective feeling that we have right now.
Right.
It is kind of a shame. I think maybe Star Wars going away for a little while wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I agree.
And I'm looking forward to Star Wars Bad Batch. Let's see what that looks like.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up this episode. What do you think?
I think so, but man, this has been a blast.
Yeah, well, it helps to have something to talk about while the world is literally collapsing around us.
It is. This is my safe space with you.
And we'll be back soon, by the way, talking through Dick Tracy.
Dude, I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know a lot about the making of that movie, but I'm kind of looking forward to diving in.
This will be a fun one.
Yeah.
So that's coming up hopefully next week. In the meantime, please, folks, if you have any questions or comments for us, let us know. You can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. And as I say this all the time, but go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. And, we appreciate all the feedback. Yay or nay. If you disagree with something we say, let us know. I
love it.
We'll tell you what we think of you when we.
No, I just love. I love the interaction. I love the people writing in and responding. It's great.
Well, Brian, anything you want to hype up while we got you?
Yeah, just this very morning, actually, working on Puppy Dog Pals, in the before times, we would get in a screening room and watch the completed episodes because it's awesome. You write it, you put it on paper, and I hand it to someone, and they bring it to life, and just a huge ordeal. And then when it's finished, it's like opening a present and just seeing what everyone made together. So we used to do that, and that was a lot of fun. And now what I really admire is our production company, Wild Canary. They do Zoom conference calls for screenings whenever they'll first air on Disney. And so this morning, actually, right before this, I got on, and there was 20, 30 people on there, and we got to watch our completed episodes for the first time together. And it's been really nice. It helps you feel continue to be connected with your coworkers and everything. And so all that to say, a new episode aired this morning that actually I'm really proud of, about a cow with a cowbell.
Nice.
So I'll just say that. But yeah, Puppy Dog Pals is going strong. So.
Needs more cowbell.
Yeah. Oh, there's very direct references.
Well, as for me, you can find me on Twitter at Zacky's Corner. That's ZAKS Corner. And you can also see my reviews at IGN and also at the San Francisco Chronicle. Got some fun stuff coming up. And until next time, on behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zachy Hassan. This has been Movie Film 204. Catch you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Welcome, friends. It's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast. Enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.